When ESPN made the big decision to bring on Pat McAfee, you knew there was going to be some drama and a lot of tension surrounding it. We've seen so many big headlines, whether it's from what happened on his show, whether it's from some form of censorship, whether it's Aaron Rodgers and all of his appearances on the Pat McAfee show. But you also knew internally that there was going to be people that got into drama, especially when you got two people as big as Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee. Stephen A. Smith, who has been the face of failing ESPN for years now. And we already heard some comments from Stephen A. in public about, Pat McAfee doesn't have to be as polished because he's a white guy. I'm a black guy, so it's harder for me. Blah, blah, blah. Well, it looks like behind the scenes, there has been a decent amount of drama between these two guys. Motherfucker. Big-time sports commentators Pat McAfee, Stephen A. Smith reportedly got into a heated phone call. And this is all coming from the New York Post. Both of them have responded and put out statements on this, both Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee, at least not like a video response or anything like that, but in terms of responding specifically to the New York Post. ESPN stars Pat McAfee, Stephen A. Smith had explosive confrontation over secret project. Tempers flared in an explosive argument in a recent phone call between two of ESPN's highest profile personalities. The Post has learned a private conversation several weeks ago between Pat McAfee and Stephen A. Smith got heated as things escalated to the point where McAfee called Smith a motherfucker. The dispute rose from creative differences involving a yet-to-be-announced project that Stephen A. Smith is executive producing through his own production company that will ultimately air on ESPN. The Post heard that in the aftermath of the spat, Smith had banned McAfee from appearing on First Take, where he had weekly Tuesday appearances during football season. However, after the Post reached out, both sides indicated their animosity has been resolved. McAfee said he wasn't aware of any ban, and Stephen A. Smith insisted there never was one. Now, this is following the past couple weeks of Stephen A. Smith doing almost backhanded compliments at sometimes towards Pat McAfee. And again, we talked about this. Pat McAfee doesn't have to be as polished at ESPN because he's white. If we're being honest, he's white and I'm black. He doesn't have to be. I had to be. So I get all that, and I'm not knocking him for it. This is not surprising to me at all. Stephen A. Smith, obviously a guy that has probably a pretty big ego. He understands there's a change coming at ESPN. He's been out there trying to replicate Pat McAfee's success with his own podcast, things like that. We know a lot of people that have been around ESPN a long time are not happy that Pat McAfee came on board. We heard about his war with the executives there. It looks like other talent, specifically people that have been there a long time and have been some of the reasons why ESPN has failed the way they have, like Stephen A. Smith. He is not happy with some of the things going on with Pat McAfee, and there seems to be a lot of drama between the two. Ultimately, even if all of these reports are correct, I'm not surprised that they would say the right thing and put on a good face for the public, two of the biggest personalities on ESPN. But I think at some point, push is going to come to shove when it comes to both of these guys. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.